Brother, when I say I thought I seen a ghost flash by, boy, I was covered, brother. Next thing you know, I see the ball in the air, brother, on the other side of the field.
Can you tell me a little bit about your relationship with Davante Adams, and is he stoppable down on the goal line? Feels like that's a fucking layup, an actual layup at this point.
We get inside the 10-yard line, it's like, all right, you probably should throw 7 people at number 17.
I don't think Davante has ever been the clear-cut #1 receiver in the league. 123, 1,500, 11 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh
this
my God.
2020.
His last
this
two.
2020, he had 115, 13, and 18 touchdowns. My goodness.
His last two, he was definitely the best wide receiver in the NFL.
In the NFL, though?
This guy right here, Davante Adams, he's different, man.
At 32 years old, Davante Adams is supposed to be slowing down. Yet, NFL legends keep saying he's still one of the hardest players in the league to guard. And now as a core piece of the Los Angeles Rams offense, Adams continues to make Matthew Stafford's job easier every single week. And look, throughout his phenomenal career, he's faced off against countless elite defenders and beaten them time and time again. And in today's video, we're gonna go over different times that players, coaches, and just NFL icons lined up across from him and really explain why it's so hard to guard Davante Adams even at 32 years old. Now, KRICH crew, we are back with another one. And look, guys, happy Thanksgiving, first of all. Happy Black Friday if you're out there shopping right now. This video is going live today, which is Friday, Black Friday. So if you guys are out there shopping, enjoy it. Hope you guys had the best Thanksgiving ever. I'm very thankful for each and every one of you guys. I appreciate all the support. NFL season is getting to that point where playoffs are about to start. College football's popping right now. We're getting some college football videos out this week. Super excited about that. We got Indiana. I think we got a Jeremiah Smith video coming this week. So there is a lot in the pipeline. If you guys have any college football suggestions, make sure to throw them in the comments section below. And I'll make sure to make one of those because we're going to start dipping into the college football scene because, I mean, football is football, right? But I also got to know, obviously, I know you're liking, subscribing, and loving all the content, but I need to know, is Davante Adams going to finish his career a Los Angeles Rams legend or a Green Bay Packers legend? Raiders fans, I know he played for the Raiders. Let's just say his time with the Raiders, as we all know, wasn't his best. So I think personally for me, he's going to finish up as a Green Bay Packers legend, but I could see if he gets a Super Bowl this year with the Rams, easily a Rams legend too. But let me know in the comment section. We're going to be throwing both of them on. Personally, for me, like I said, he's a Packers legend to me. I watched him with Aaron Rodgers, and that bro was just back shoulder fades all day. But with all of that out of the way, we do have to just jump into Davante Adams' story because really, ever since he entered the league in 2014, it's been clear that the dude has had serious potential. The Packers used the 53rd overall pick on him in that draft on the back of a stellar college career in which he racked up 1,700 yards and 24 touchdowns in his sophomore season at Fresno State, earning him the Paul Warfield Trophy as the best wide receiver in the country. And let's be sure that we all know that although there were 8 wide receivers taken ahead of Davante Adams, the Packers were damn sure, and early on in Davante Adams' career with the Packers, they knew they had a good one on their hands. Like even in a stacked wide receiver room that included the likes of Randall Cobb and Jordy Nelson, the team earmarked Adams for stardom very early on, with Super Bowl winning head coach Mike McCarthy even saying this. I would say Davante Adams, if you wanted a clear illustration of a player taking a jump in his second year, you saw it. He's been tremendous in OTAs and he has more in front of him. He's done a great job in strength and conditioning, and if you picked an MVP or an all-star, he'd be at the top list. Ultimately, as we all know though, Adams didn't make that leap in his second year that McCarthy had hoped, with Adams himself saying he wasn't proud of his 2015 campaign, but in the long term, McCarthy was proven 100% right, as Adams would soon establish himself as one of the league's premier wideouts. It was in that 2018 season too that really was his first truly elite season, putting up 1,386 receiving yards and 13 touchdowns, and it really established himself as Aaron Rodgers' favorite target in Green Bay, with only Antonio Brown putting up more receiving touchdowns that year. However, even despite just his best efforts, the Packers still just went 6-9-1 that year, leading to Mike McCarthy's firing before the season's end. It was under McCarthy's replacement too, Matt LaFleur, that Adams would play his best football of his career, and he became a first-team All-Pro for the first time in his career, achieving this both in 2020 and 2021 as the figurehead of one of the NFL's very best offenses. Even Matt LaFleur recently spoke about his respect and admiration for Adams, saying,
Davante's a guy that I got a ton of respect for in terms of just who he is as a player. Certainly, it kind of speaks for itself, but it's not a surprise that he's become the type of player he's become because just how he approaches the game. He is the ultimate competitor, and I feel like he treats practice like it's game day, and that's why he's become who he's become.
And specifically on that topic of Adams' mindset and competitiveness too, I think it's important that we highlight his teammates because his Packers teammates have often agreed with LaFleur's words that he's had high praise for how he approaches the game. And in the words of an all-pro defensive end in Zadarius Smith, he said,
I could see his upsides as like DK, and his mindset is like Steve Smith. So that combination is like video game type.
And look, the comparison with Steve Smith, we all know how Steve Smith played the game. He was considered just often one of the toughest and just greatest, I should say, most physical receivers of all time. And you can see that in Adams' playstyle, and being compared to that too, that kind of playstyle is often, it's going to prove that you're going to be an all-time great. But of course, we've all seen Davante Adams and how he plays the game, and I think really what he's more known for is just how his greatness lies in his athleticism and how dude's route running ability is just on a different level. Like, he just makes cornerbacks and just defensive backs look absolutely stupid. And one guy who knows all about this is the 3-time first-team All-Pro Patrick Peterson. There's plenty of mutual respect between Peterson and Adams, with Adams himself saying in the 2017 Players Tribune article that I'm not afraid to say that Pap, he is probably my #1 toughest corner to play right now, and I've played against him twice, and he's often just an athletic freak, and I'm not really sure how else to put it. And yes, of course, Peterson is amongst the very best to play the cornerback position in recent times, and was even named to the 2010s All-Decade team as a result. But he clearly considered Davante Adams to be one of his peers and a guy that would punish you if you weren't careful.
But this guy right here, Davante Adams, he's different, man. He presents so much trouble at the line of scrimmage. His wiggle of setting up routes, it makes it difficult for DBs to try to get a good nat on what route he's trying to run.
Like, for over a decade in this league, Adams has been one of the most impossible guys to guard, and he still looks as good as he always has, thriving at the age of 32 in LA. And as I mentioned earlier in this video too, the same thing could be said for Adams a couple of years ago when he was reportedly being let down by his quarterbacks in Las Vegas. And I mean, the numbers were suggesting that the decline was on the way, but anyone who was watching the tape actually could tell that he still had it.
Because you can see he's wide open. He's still getting separation. He's doing the things Davante Adams has done, and he deserves better than this. The quarterback's let me down. The organization has let me down. I came here for a good friend of mine and Derek Carr. You guys got rid of him. So could you please do me a solid and let me go to a contender where I can contribute and not have my career continue to be wasted the way it is, because he is a tremendous talent and he is a guy who can make an immediate, huge impact for a number of teams in the NFL.
I mean, hell, Richard Sherman and Adams even have a history of themselves, with Sherman previously drawing criticism for a cheap shot that he made on Adams back in a 2016 matchup between the Packers and Seahawks. But ultimately, Sherman, like everyone else, appreciates the skill set that Adams possesses, and he even knew as well as anyone just how hard it was going to be to come up against him, even with Adams still being in his 30s now. And like, what's the craziest part too, I think, is that right now I just gave 2 examples of how 2 cornerbacks who played Adams in the early 2010s and 2020s, just kind of, whenever you would line up across from Davante Adams, there was so much fear that was just, it was just being struck into your heart. But that's also the cool thing on the other hand, is because, well, it's 2025 and Adams is still one of the best wide receivers in the league. And don't worry either, he's still teaching lessons to the new generation of cornerbacks that are trying to guard him. Patrick Surtain II is easily the best corner in football right now and was deservedly named the NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 2024 as the very best at what he does, but even he had to suffer his own welcome to the NFL moment in his early years, and of course, that came at the hands of Davante Adams.
I got routed up, boy. It was against Davante Adams my second year. Brother, when I say I thought I seen a ghost flash by, boy, I was covered, brother. Next thing you know, I see the ball in the air. Brother, on the other side of the field. Oh. Cause I was covered, so boom. Man, I turned this way. Buddy went this way. I seen the ball in the air, cuz. Man, I seen the ball in the air, TA. Smitty, I was like, nah, they ain't gonna score. They ain't gonna get me like this, bro. Ball in the air.
Cribbed it?
Man, I'm talking about he in the end zone. Butt booty open. Cuz, open. And I'm looking back, I'm like, bro, ain't no way they just did that to me, bro.
Like the fact that Sherman and Patrick Peterson both face the same version of Davante Adams as Patrick Surtain speaks to the incredible longevity of Adams and the fact that he's still showing absolutely no signs of slowing down. Like at this point in the 2025 season 2, he leads the league with 12 receiving touchdowns, which is something you wouldn't expect a guy in his age 32 season to be pulling off. Adams is just really a rare breed of receiver who is absolutely a threat at every stage of the game. He's superb at getting open in short yardage situations, long yardage situations, and especially at the goal line. His 115 career receiving touchdowns rank him 8th all time, and really at this rate you'd expect him to take over a few more guys before he does decide to hang up his cleats. Even one guy you bet is delighted to have him on his roster is head coach Sean McVay, who was full of praise for his guy when he moved up on the all-time leaderboard.
8th all-time in receiving touchdowns, 109 is it, Artis? Yeah, so I mean, what a credit to his just consistency, his body of work, his greatness. And he's one of those guys, man. I mean, he made some big-time clutch catches in the red area. He's obviously got 5 in the last 2 weeks, and he's a stud. Love everything that he's about. Love working with him. It truly is a blessing, and he's brought so much to our group. But it's a real credit. We always talk about the truest measurement of performance is that consistency, and he's been consistent over the course of his career, and he's brought a lot to our football team. I love Davante Adams.
McVay credits Adams for his consistency there, which is always a sign of greatness. However, I think it's his versatility that's also so special and something that people always comment on, including the man Adams replaced in LA this offseason. Of course, I am talking about Cooper Kupp, who has also been one of the league's best receivers at one time, having won Offensive Player of the Year in 2021 as a result of his receiving triple crown. I think it's fair to say that Kupp knows what it takes to be great in this league, and he can see all of that in Davante Adams.
He's one of those guys, he can do everything. They send him vertical, single him up backside. They let him work all the different areas of the field. I feel like he's kind of at the elite level of every single one of those things you're asking a receiver to do.
Right now, Adams' new team, the LA Rams, are an absolute juggernaut and might be the best team in the entire NFL. And really, it appears he's been the final piece of that puzzle, the major offseason addition that's turned these Rams from a solid playoff contender to a serious contender to win it all around this time. I mean, even look at just how Matthew Stafford is talking about when he's asked about having this guy on the roster.
I know you're saying you have confidence in everyone. You do have a 3-time All-Pro also in that receiver corps. So in terms of if Puka isn't there, is there comfort knowing you have a guy like Davante who can
absolutely.
step up?
Yeah, I mean, he's he's one of the best receivers of our era, and we're lucky to have him. And yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, he's a great player, so we're fired up.
Stafford's been much of his time watching Davante Adams dominate his Detroit Lions, and as a result, he knows more than most about what makes him so special on the football field. And really, he's had that pleasure of playing alongside the likes of Calvin Johnson, Cooper Kupp, and OBJ during his time as a pro. Unsurprisingly, he considers himself lucky to have played alongside players of this caliber and has stated that Adams is definitely up there with the likes of Megatron, which is about as high of a praise as a wide receiver as you can get. Of course, there has been plenty of praise for Adams from Puka Nacua, who benefits greatly from having defenses keying on Adams. Nacua himself is having another phenomenal year and has attracted plenty of attention himself, but you can tell that he's in awe of his fellow wideout wearing number 17, that he aspires to reach Adams' level at some point in his career. Like when speaking on the Pat McAfee show, Nacua spoke about Adams' locked-in nature, saying this.
Can you tell me a little bit about your relationship with Davante Adams, and is he stoppable down on the goal line? Feels like that's a fucking layup, an actual layup at this point.
No, literally. And I'm like, his celebration, he kind of messed it up because we were supposed to do some like LeBron, like D-Wade, like alley-oop type thing. We had the hoop set up for the celebration and he didn't even dunk it. And like the photos look great. We got our rookie month being the little basketball hoop holding his arms and he didn't even dunk it. But it pretty much is unstoppable. Like we get inside the 10-yard line, it's like, all right, you probably should throw 7 people at number 17.
And look, to be frank, I think if Matthew Stafford is named MVP this year, which looks more than likely every single week, the addition of Davante Adams will no doubt be a huge reason as to why. As we discussed, he's a guy that elevates everyone around him and makes any team he's on better. And I mean, who better to sum it all up than the guy who won 3 NFL MVPs himself, throwing to Adams, the Green Bay Packers legend Aaron Rodgers.
He's one of the all-time greats. I love him so much. I have so much trust and respect for him. And when it's crunch time, he always comes up big and makes big plays. I'm not surprised. I was teasing the whole second half. because of what he said to me, but I love that guy so much, and I'm just so thankful to be able to play with him again.
Like, when you consider all of the Pro Bowlers and Hall of Famers that Rodgers played with in Green Bay, from Brett Favre to Charles Woodson, it's really quite something that he considers Davante Adams to be at the very top of that pile. Throughout his 12 seasons in the league, so many greats have chimed in on Davante Adams about his skill set and the determination that makes him so special, and about how good of a teammate he is, and just how difficult he is to guard at times, especially in the end zone. And I think it's safe to say that at this point in his career, Adams' legacy is already set in stone as one of the best receivers of the 21st century, and an absolute lock for the Hall of Fame. The only thing missing for him is that elusive Super Bowl ring, which he and Rodgers never did manage to bring in at Green Bay. Time will tell if he and the Rams can secure a championship this year, but the way he and Matthew Stafford are linking up right now, I definitely wouldn't bet against it. And truthfully, it would be a well-deserved ring for a player who is so undeniably phenomenal and so widely respected by the entire NFL.